Oh man, to my surprise, number 11, ding, 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 Age of Ultron. So, got James Spader that lines up as being the newest villain in this franchise as Ultron. You got Scarlet Witch is being implemented into this one. Quicksilver, which nobody thought they would ever be able to do because they didn't know if they had the rights to be able to do it. Of course, you had Elizabeth Olsen and you had Aaron Taylor Johnson for those roles. Then you had Andy Serkis as Ulysses Klaue. One thing that I can say for a fact with this Infinity War challenge is that I am exhausted. This is a huge undertaking. I done looked at 11 films, y'all. 11. And I'm not even done yet. So tonight is the actual premiere of Infinity War. In about less than 5 minutes, they're going to be going and giving the social media embargo. It's going to be lifted. And then at 6:30, they're going to be releasing the official reviews. So what I wanted to try to do is get these up, but I'm not going to be able to get these to you guys until probably, technically, Tuesday in the evening time. But I can pleasantly say that Age of Ultron, over time, in hindsight, whereas I had a lot of problems with it, I don't have as many problems with it anymore. Because this movie that Joss Whedon made was the sacrificial lamb. The reality is, this movie set up everything. And I didn't realize it until watching it literally unfold. Like the part where you got like Thor like in the water and like freaking out and like making these weird noises, and even when Scarlet Witch gave him the vision of what was going on, I thought at the time she was giving him an actual vision. No, this is actually things that are reinforced that's going to happen. I didn't realize that's how her powers work, that they coincided with the Mind Stone, that Vision eventually inhabits, and because of what happens from that, same exact thing happens to Tony Stark. Tony Stark creates Vision out of passion, out of drive, to prevent a cataclysmic event from happening again, like the invasion. Ironically, that the very thing that he created Vision out of was the very thing that Thanos needs for his gauntlet. And it's just like the symmetry behind all this is just so intricate and amazing, because even Ultron cut off Ulysses Klaue's hand. And like you get the foundations of how Ulysses Klaue got the stuff like that he needed, the vibranium. And it's like even in Black Panther you don't actually see him do this, but now we know how he actually got it out because of Eric's father. And it's like it was quite a bit of it, you know what I'm saying? So it's like Ultron used that not only to create the embodiment for Vision, but also armor for himself, and another thing to be able to raise up the city. And it's just like, if I took like certain pieces of this and added them to the other movies, I could. And it's like, unfortunately, this movie was a sacrificial lamb. It was like all over the place. And I think when I watched it, I was like, what the heck is all this? Like, really, what the heck is all this? Like, what are you really doing? Like, why are you, you know, pitting together Bruce Banner and Black Widow? Like, really? What is that? What's the end game here? And it's like, watching what happened to Bruce Banner with Thor Ragnarok and seeing where this is actually going to play out, that eventually, like, everybody leaves that. Everybody goes. And it's like, even at the very end of Age of Ultron, it really is just her and Steve, because Steve is mission-centric and so is she. That's just who they are. And it's like, Hawkeye, that's not him anymore. Like, that's not who he's going to be because he's got a family. So it was just like, even with Hawkeye, like, not appearing in anything for Infinity War, it's like, he's going to survive until Avengers 4 because he is essential to what they need. They even made that as a blatant statement. But it's like, even with Tony and Captain America was like talking to him in the very beginning, like when he was talking to him like, why did you do this without telling the team? Like, he's like, I needed to do this. This is essential. And like, he was like, look, I've seen a vision that everybody's gonna die. And like, Cap was basically like, okay, but we're gonna do this together. Like, even if we die, we're gonna die together. We're not gonna die alone. And Tony could never see that. And it's like, that's all gonna be brought to a head in Infinity War, which is crazy because now the movie itself add so much more semblance to what was the next phase ultimately. And I didn't see it, I didn't know it, but like this was the perfect send-off for all this movie. Now, as a film as a whole, as all this stuff that's compacted into it, like at the time it really didn't make a lot of sense to me. You guys will see, I'll tag it in the description bar below, and I'll put it at the very end of this video. You can be able to check out my initial review for Age of Ultron. But when I first got out of Age of Ultron, I think I remember like being really excited, and I was kind of like and I think that I nitpicked quite a bit. Like one of my nitpicks was like, really, the Hulkbuster like beat Bruce Banner, beat the Hulk, but really the Hulk didn't get beat. Like he just, you know, snapped out of it. Like he got humbled. Like all of them really took a hit. And even with Captain America and Iron Man specifically, everybody else kind of like shook it off, but ultimately neither one of them did. Like Cap became like focused on doing what he had to do to protect everything, but at the expense of not being with anybody else. Like it's like, I might have to do this on my own, might not have a government behind me to be able to protect me to do anything. Iron Man, like he still kept to the same exact perspective in his head that he needs to be prepared, he needs to do this, and he needs to stick to this specific path. And it's like those men really, they were driven into the Civil War standpoint from this movie, and even a little bit before in Avengers 1. What did I think? One thing that I'll say that I still don't agree with, well, maybe two different things. But one thing I'll say is that James Spader as Ultron was probably one of the best actors that they could have ever gotten for a role like this, because Ultron, to me, is not something you can just eliminate and get rid of. Now, I did see Vision go and grab his head, and I think he removed any kind of traces of Vision anywhere, but they didn't specifically say that, and I just went on and assumed it. And then when Vision went with him head to head, it was like, I know I don't want to kill you, but you're it. I have to stop you. And he stopped him, and I was just like, at the time I was like, yo, that's so dumb. Like, how could you kill something like it? Like Ultron. Like, he can't be really killed because he doesn't need to be in anything. And I was kind of just like jaded by that. Like, I think that really kind of ticked me off even more. So kind of just, I was triggered with Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin. I was definitely triggered with the handling of such a powerful being as Ultron, especially when you got somebody like James Spader behind it. And I kind of just felt like, well, you just killed another villain. Like, it's just the MCU way of doing things. What else? I feel like there was something else. I'm kind of like, my stomach's kind of hurting a little bit, you guys. I'm not feeling all that well. I feel like there was something else. Dude, that end credit though, with Thanos and the gauntlet. Oh my gosh, that was so good. What else? I feel like there's something else I'm missing. Oh yeah. Pietro, Quicksilver. I'm still not like. I mean, I know it sounds so petty. I know it sounds like okay, you got Ultron and you got Quicksilver, but you got all these other things that are so great, and you're sticking to these things. But it's just like, why kill either one? And then I think for Pietro, it's like, bro. Now, I'm not going to try to compare you to the Peter Evans version for, the X-Men universe, but I would think he'd be able to outrun some bullets. Just saying. And I think that what makes it so bad is when Hawkeye shot a bullet up and he went through the glass, he actually had enough that he could actually see those bullets. So I'm like, if you can see bullets going in real time, you should be able to dodge those bullets. And not just that, even if that was the case and he got shot up, you got somebody that works with human repair of a body. And she had a machine that could be able to do that. A regeneration chamber to be able to do that. Now, a lot of people could say that Vision came out of that regeneration chamber, but even then, she still had the tools to be able to do it. Now, I'm not sure if she lived or died. I don't know. But it's kind of just like, So you bring up a machine that can take care of repair human tissue, but don't think to take the boy's body to try to do that? I'm just saying. I mean, I thought that was just kind of like a... Maybe they just really brought that up to express the fact of Vision's body and how they had to create it. Maybe that's just what it was about, but to me, it's kind of just like, okay, you get somebody that's seriously injured, like, use it. See if it actually works. And who knows? He might show up in Infinity War. I don't really know. It'd be interesting. That'd be the dopest twist ever, man. If they brought Aaron Taylor Johnson back, and he's just kind of working with Hawkeye behind Scarlet Witch's back. That would be so dope. I ain't gonna front. So, I mean, as a movie, I'm gonna have to upgrade it a little bit. I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10. I actually really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought more than I used to, because it's just so many different things that it just plays into now, and it takes up a different role now ultimately. But as a film, I mean, I know why I gave it such a low rating before. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I don't feel all that well. I gotta go. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Peace, guys.